Hello and welcome to your 2018 Sagittarius Great Mother Speaks full moon reading. This year it is on May 29th. Great Mother speaks to those of us who are experiencing mama drama trauma. This deck and these readings are specifically designed to offer clarity, balance, and confirmation to those of us consistently and persistently experiencing abandonment or abuse from the mother or maternal figures that impact our lives today. This person could have abandoned us in childhood or could abandon us in adulthood through addictions or through death. This is not about blame or shame. This is about identifying how we feel as a distinct human being from the issues, unhealed issues, traumas imposed upon us in childhood. I am Tammy Taylor, an inner work life coach specializing in mama drama trauma condition, in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. Now, in cases where the mother is unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal, loving detachment is required. So we talk about that in the readings. We deal with mothers oftentimes who change like the phases of the moon, and so it's difficult for us to distinguish how we feel from our mothers. And so these lunar readings are designed to cultivate, to nurture, and to actually grow and evolve the space within us to have the ability to do that for ourselves. We look at the sidereal, the soul sign. So the sidereal moon sign, this full moon is in Scorpio, in the nakshatra of Anudra, that vivacious, creative, caring, stellar mansion in the sky that the moon will be in as it is reflecting the light of the sun in Taurus in the nakshatra, the beautiful, enhancing, gracious Rohini, this composure riddled, compassionate, devoted, noble energy of the sun. So we look at the soul astrology, the sidereal, to ascertain that soul space. So if you are Sagittarius, that means that more than likely your sidereal sign is in Scorpio, making this your first house, and also your halfway mark of your lunar new year. Be sure to check out in the playlist your lunar new year readings if that hasn't happened for you yet. Stay tuned, because every new moon marks the lunar new year for your new moon sign. So the Taurus lunar new year readings have just been posted, and the Geminis will be coming up. Of course, that is Taurus Gemini with the Taurus in the sidereal. Now, these are posted according to your Western. If you're new with us, want to be sure that you understand that the full moon in terms of Great Mother is really focusing on really paying attention to what those new moon intentions were that you set. We've been doing some readings that focused on those new moon wishes. Great Mother offered 5. It suggested that 10 be a maximum. Want to do some research on that? Go to greatmotherspeaks.info/vlog to see what those suggested new moons readings have been for the last 2 months. We're going to kind of move away from that. As you practice on your own, you gain your own rhythm, you gain your own stance of understanding how that energy works. These readings will make a lot more sense to and for you. With this full moon, we're really looking at the cleansing, purification aspect of what has come forward as a result of your new moon intentions. And so again, you might want to check out what those suggested ones were if you did not set them by Great Mother, and to see what is coming up in your internal life at this particular time as this full moon in Scorpio Sagittarius purifies, cleanses, and really tests the mutual feelings that you have. Now, mutual feelings have to do with, of course, our personal and professional relationships. With the moon reflecting the sun, it's always on the opposing sign that we find that solar energy. So the sun now is in that Taurus and the sidereal Gemini in the Western. So your moon sign attraction will naturally be to someone with that Taurus, Gemini, Sidereal, Western axis. Of course, the Western astrology has to do with our emotional ego energy. Western astrology is an earth-centric astrology, and we do the reading from that place to have a conscious hit from what Great Mother is saying from that deeper space, and you find what resonates best with you. So, with no further ado, here are your May full moon readings from Great Mother Speaks. Leo, Virgo moon people, this Sagittarius, Scorpio Sagittarius, wow, I have Scorpio in the sidereal. You want to check the links below because you may be Virgo in the sidereal as well. But for most of you, your moon sign in the Vedic, the Jyotish, the soul astrology as I call it, is in Leo. The moon is now, instead of Sagittarius, it's just that sign behind in Scorpio as well. In the nakshatra of Anudra, that vivacious, creative, caring, stellar constellation of Anudra. A lot of times we say, well, I have this moon sign, but I'm nothing like so-and-so who has Leo, Virgo moon sign. And why is that? Well, you probably and more than likely were born with a different nakshatra. And then you say, well, hey, I found out they have the same nakshatra and so, they have the same nakshatra too. And we are totally different in terms of our moon signs, which is why you want to get a personal reading. But that could be different as well because the nakshatras are not only the 3 different signs within a moon sign, but they are divided into 4 other categories called padas as well. This is the soul energy. And so your soul is a very self-expressive type of energy. The soul energy that comes through to you when you're downloading intuition is very creative, fun-loving energy. It's light-hearted. And so the Virgo moon sign is the ego. That is the earth-centric astrology, the Western astrology. And so it's more emotional. And so it feels more present. It is that continuum between pain and passion and love and fear that you feel most viscerally in the body. And so the body downloads from the soul astrology intuition, and the intuition uploads from the body emotion. So you are approaching this Scorpio Sagittarius full moon with an attitude of neglect, rejection, being ignored. Most of you are feeling like you are not being heard. This is a root chakra crescent moon card. It is the birth mother soul card. So most of you tuned in right now are definitely tuned in for the message from Great Mother to connect with her children most alienated from her due to our birth mother experience through mama drama trauma. This full moon is 4th and 10th house energy for you. The Sagittarius moon is in your 4th house. This has to do with home. It has to do with mother. And so the moon is reflecting the sun in the opposing sign of Taurus Gemini in your 10th house, which is about career, your life purpose. And so maybe for you, you might be having some issues as it relates to what you want to do in your life and maybe how your children figure into this or vice versa. There are some remnants of regret, retribution, perhaps as it relates to your own mother who was not able to fulfill her own goals as it relates to having you or your siblings maybe feeling put upon by her in some way as a result of your very existence. Now, when we feel that way, we feel ungrounded, we feel uprooted, and as a result of that, we perpetuate that type of energy in the world. And so wherever we go, we are trying to ground ourselves. We are trying to create a sense of security and safety around us. And you are, in fact, approaching this full moon really wanting to do that as it relates to your career. You feel that somehow through your career, that's going to give you more security at home and or as it relates to yourself as a mother or your relationship to your mother. Now, your transformative opportunity this full moon is to center yourself in the awareness that you already are home, that there is no place like your inner home. Great Mother speaks to us in that still small voice from our intuition. Now, our feelings downloaded. And so during these readings, we take a minute to do that, just a minute to do it as these cycles change. And what she's saying with this waning gibbous moon card, tar centering, is just realize that by clicking your heels 3 times, body, mind, and spirit, there's nothing that you need to prove other than to yourself that you're grounded in yourself. That's the challenge for you this full moon, Leo, Virgo moon people. That is the challenge for you. Now, some of you may actually be so productive at this time in your careers that you don't have time for your kids. And you don't have time for your own inner child. You don't have time to have fun if you don't have children. You don't have time to have fun. You really don't feel like you're expressing yourself. You're just kind of going for the gusto, and it's providing you safety and security, and a sense of reward and acknowledgement. But the rub is you don't feel centered. And so for you, Great Mother is inviting you to take the time to do that. Take the time to center yourself in the awareness that what you're doing is just a part of your life. It is not your whole life. Don't get caught up in the illusion that it is. Okay? It's not your whole life. There's a big part of you, third eye energy, that inner part of you that is not being fed, which is not only equally important to the home, to the career, to the achievements, but more important if you are to be well. And wellness is wholeness, isn't it? That holiness, that part of ourselves that already has everything that we need. That's that clicking of the heels 3 times, body, mind, and soul. Just remembering that we can do that at any time. You know, we forget and we go through all these trials and tribulations. Well, you know, I'm on the, you know, the rabbit wheel or whatever they call it, the mouse wheel or whatever. And, you know, this is just the way I got to go. And, you know, I've worked so hard for this and there's a lot of competition. And so I've got to show up every day and show out, and the struggle. And what else do people like to say? I got to do this. And what do they say? A lot of really catchy terms about working hard and struggling, it'll come to me, my struggle or whatever people call it, and it just becomes an overwhelming, consuming type of thing. And for Virgo moon people, you know, there's an imbalance that can occur, you know, with this work-life balance, that emotionally you feel, but you may have a tendency to ignore. You may have a tendency to ignore this. And Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook how important it is to acknowledge how you're feeling this full moon with the Sula's card as your full moon card. It's really important at this particular time for you to really pay attention to that, because what's in your shadow position is Nefertiti. Nefertiti is the waxing gibbous moon card in the 5th chakra. And so this is about owning your beauty and speaking it. And so maybe you have acknowledged that. Maybe you do realize that because you aren't able to fulfill that grounded sense at home or with your mother or as a mother to others in some way or another, as a result of you not speaking your beauty, speaking your truth, taking your power back from this situation. Some of you are completely oblivious that you have the power to take your power back from that situation that is perhaps by now making you feel a sense of imbalance, and realizing that life purpose isn't always about the job or the career or the external achievements, but life purpose includes what your soul came here to do, that is supporting what those achievements are really about, that in some cases may be wanting to detract from over focus on achievement and recognition and safety and security as it's defined in the world that we live in. Life purpose is really that 10th house energy that is the reason that soul incarnated. Okay, so it has to do with, why your soul is here. And Saturn works a lot with that as well. And it's in Capricorn, which is in your 5th house right now. So with that sidereal being, kind of 5th house energy in Leo, it's kind of saying, it's in Sagittarius in the sidereal, and so and Capricorn in the Western, it's that energy that says, hey, what are you doing? What is it that you're really wanting to say? And the shadow position is saying that there's a beauty in you that if it hasn't come out, when it does, you already know that you're going to get a lot from doing it. So those of you who are already reaping the rewards of expressing your beauty, congratulations. You've had to overcome all of this to do it. Congratulations. And for those of you who haven't done it yet, you are on a pathway, an energetic pathway where, your life purpose internally is going to match your external world. If you would just trust it, despite what appearances may be. In other words, despite this a seeming rejection, neglect, that sort of thing. It's not going to impede what your beauty and what your power is. What needs to happen is you just need to let go during this full moon of anything that is keeping you from just accepting how you feel. And so even though the truth of the matter is you do feel some being ignored, or that you are having to ignore people at home because you're focusing on your career, either way, Great Mother is saying, let go of anything that is keeping you in denial about this. That's what's ungrounding you. It's not the needing to work so hard. It's the potential rejection. And so let go of your own self-rejection, your self-denial, the denial of yourself and how you feel. When you let go of that, then you will see past the illusion that, hey, it's not about all of this about work. Work is an important part. It's really about me seeing the truth of what it offers me in terms of my overall soul experience. And that's where the centering comes in. You see that? That's where the centering is going to allow you to really ground yourself in new ways and allow you to share yourself in new ways at home and at work. Pachamama. I have another Waning Gibbous card. Waning Gibbous is all about just sharing the bounty of your illuminations of what you've learned. And you've been learning a lot. And so you've learned that in order to really ground yourself, root chakra, in order to really be secure, you need to take a beat, just get away reground yourself. Maybe some earthing in the backyard or in the park or something, taking your shoes off and standing in the grass. If you can go by a lake and just kind of breathe in the air and stand there for a moment. The trees, the fairies, outside at night, to go out at night is another wonderful time to connect with Pachamama, Earth Mother energy, and just look up at the stars and look up at the sky and actually see the moon phase and feel it energetically in your body. That is what's going to get you closer in touch with really how you feel, and allow that to register what that imbalance is for you, so that as you click those 3 heels during this full moon and say, okay, now it's time for me to cleanse, purify, and realign what is really working for me at this time, despite the reality of the situation. Let me look toward my rewards. Let me look toward my primordial father energy, which is giving me the 411 on my physical situation, on my material situation in the world, and see what is available for me to feel the rewards of life at this time. You know, some of you are already feeling that, but those of you who aren't, Great Mother saying Great Mother Gaia energy will amplify your clarity about that. So that your final outcome for this full moon is following the law of mystery and divine order. It's a mystery, all of this, isn't it? How it all comes together. There is a test that the full moon gives to all of us to cleanse and purify, so that we clarify really where we are energetically within ourselves. But because of the solar opposition to the moon, it also tests the mutual feelings between us and others. I would be very curious to know with this individual that you are perhaps feeling this rejection from, or situation at home, what their moon sign is, because our opposing moon sign, and for you, your opposing moon sign would be that moon sign in Taurus, Gemini, which is where the sun is now, is the one that we're most attracted to. And so there may be some actual distraction, and if you know someone who has a Taurus Gemini moon sign, that might inform you about your beauty in ways that you really aren't seeing right now. That's in your shadow position. See if you can find someone who is a Taurus Gemini moon person, and that internal space, maybe have a conversation, or if you know them well, that'd be great. Ask a cousin, ask a best friend, even your spouse. You might even not even know what your spouse's moon sign is. And so check the links below and let me know, because they're going to give you some clues about what this illusion is as it relates to the imbalance that you're feeling, so that you can align what the real support is available for you at this time to fulfill your life purpose in a way that work and home can balance itself out in ways that will allow you to experience full wellness in this full moon between now and the next. Thanks for watching, and remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
For more information about Mama Drama Trauma, visit mamadramatrauma.info.